Hello there again, my friends. This is the boy and his dog, and welcome to Retro Edition, where I continue my mission to play and review every game released for the Evercade, old and new. In today's video, we take a deeper butchers and I'll give my final thoughts on the 7th game of the month, Lunar Journey. Yeah, can you believe it? We've got through 7 games already. So, without further ado, let's get started. You've reached the moon after a long journey, and your mission to collect 6 important minerals has begun. You won't be able to return to Earth without aluminium, calcium, magnesium, iron, titanium and silicon. Keep an eye out for your oxygen supplies and the status of your spacecraft. You are not alone out there. Lunar Journey is an adventure game originally developed by Green Boy Games and released for the Game Boy in 2021. Now, when I first booted this game up and read about the mineral gathering, that you had to keep check of your oxygen levels and state of your ship, I was like, ooh, is this some kind of cool 8-bit Game Boy No Man's Sky? But alas, this is not actually the case. The minerals don't need to be mined, they appear as big blocks you can collect as you explore and complete tasks. And as far as I can tell, you never have to refill your oxygen level at all. It seems to stay at a constant 10. Unless I'm missing something. So, with that out of the way, what kind of game actually is it? It's friggin' Dizzy in Space is what it is, and oh what an absolute bloody joy it is. If you've played a Dizzy game, you'll know exactly what to expect. There are characters to interact with, in this case aliens, items to pick up and use on the environment or as gifts to aliens, which will in turn allow access to new areas you couldn't reach before, or a new item will appear to grab and use on something else. For example, distracting a couple of aliens or getting them to go away by offering food will let you grab a key, which you need to unlock a case full of fuses, which you can use to fix a light in another area, which will let you see your way ahead. The entire area isn't too big and it opens a little at a time. The game is incredibly tight, so you won't feel like you're getting lost, and though there is a bit of to-in and fro-in, the area isn't so large to make it a chore. You also can't die, so you can spend as long as you want exploring the place without worrying. As previously mentioned, the oxygen never appears to go down. It's pretty hard not to reach the end, though final trick aside, which may throw you off, just remember to read everything. I only have 2 questions. 1. What is that bloody broom handle for? Unless I used it without realising. The only complaint, if there was one to have, which isn't really, is you can't see a list of items you have. It only ticks off the minerals you've obtained. Unless I'm missing something. I'm probably missing something. And 2, is there any way to have a look in that darn rocket the aliens are preparing to launch? The dude keeps telling me the lock's broke and he'll fix it later, which made me feel there would be a later, and we would be able to get inside. As far as I can see, there's no way in, but I'd love to be proven wrong. In the end, this game may be rather short, but it's a total joy from start to finish. Dizzy in Space. I can't give it higher praise than that, can I? As a side note, the Oliver Twins collection is the reason I bought the original handheld and got myself into this bloody mess to begin with. Lunar Journey is a total stoner game to chill with, just unrushed fun. And I hear it's a good dad game too. And I absolutely adore the Game Boy style. More Game Boy games please. They be gorgeous. Interestingly, my favourite game on the Evercade was also a Game Boy style game, The Mighty Deadus, on the first Indie Heroes collection, Evercade Kart 17, I think. A perfect game to play this Halloween, by the way. That game gets so dark, love it to death. So, 7 games down with the Indie Heroes Collection 2, and boy what another cracker. We have only 3 more games to go with the Game of the Month service, and only 2 months remain. So as we know, one of the months we're getting 2 games. It will be interesting to see when the cart is actually out, as whichever game or games come out last, you will probably already have the Indie Heroes Kart 2 by then. So selfishly, I hope we get the 2 games in November update. If the cart isn't released alongside the EXP and arcade ports in November, which I would be surprised about, would it be released by itself in December? They've never released a single cart before. They wouldn't have another cart up their sleeve, would they? Surely not. So I am assuming a November release for it. I will do my full cart overview and ranking obviously when the actual cart is released. I will also talk about my feelings on the Game of the Month service as a whole in that video too, as there's quite a bit to think about, isn't there, with what we've had and possibly what we could get in the future. And if you've made it here to the end of the video, thank you ever so much for joining me. Please leave a thumbs up or a comment if you would like. Either way, I'm just chuffed you poked your head in the door to take a gander. As always, I hope you have an awesome day, my friends. And until next time, be seamless.